Hey everyone, so today we've got Damon Gameau, the filmmaker of 2040 and That Sugar film, joining us for a quick Q&A in preparation for Thursday's keynote. Tell us, Damon, a little bit about yourself, who you are, and why you're excited to be a part of this initiative.
I guess my last two films have really had a focus on family and using solutions as a message platform and instilling hope and aspiration in people, especially the younger generation. I think now more than ever, these kids need to be empowered. They need to be shown that there are wonderful people out there trying to give them a better future and working on incredible solutions. So I'm really happy to be a part of your platform and what you're doing, because I think your audience is just perfect for this, and the time obviously couldn't be more appropriate than what we're dealing with right now.
Sweet. And every Thursday, as you know, on Imagination TV, we like to feature a festival that's been cancelled. And we're calling it Cancel, Not Cancel, so that we can show some love and give the stage to some of these festivals that have been called off due to the coronavirus situation. So tell us a little bit about Grounded and the people that you were working with, and who were the other speakers on the stage that were supposed to be with you.
Yeah, it was a pretty special festival. It's called Grounded, and it was going to take place in near just outside of San Francisco. And it was a coming together of some really interesting thinkers around the environmental space. So Paul Hawken, who did Project Drawdown, was going to speak there. Paul Stamets, who does a lot of work on mushrooms. Jaden Smith, who is Will Smith's son, was going to be there. He's quite a big activist and has a big passion in the oceans. And I was going to talk there about sort of communication and messaging and how important storytelling really is in this environmental challenge that we face. So a big shout out to them. It was going to be a really terrific event, but as we've seen, they're not alone. Most events around the world have been shut down. So it's nice that you guys are able to give them a shout out as well.
Yeah, just doing our little bits, Damon. And as you say, like, these are those tricky times where we can actually use hope as a platform, as a light to shine in these darker environments. So what is the importance of hope? Like, I think that's what you're speaking on Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's just about to understand right now that, to look for the signs of hope. And even though there's a lot of trauma going on right now, there's also some just, wonderful things that are taking place in communities at council levels, the self-organising, people helping and reaching out to each other is just wonderful. And this is what happens in crisis. This is what we're capable of. And I think we've constructed a system that doesn't necessarily bring out the best in us sometimes, and it often brings out that rivalrous competitive aspect of us to succeed and get ahead. Whereas when we have a crisis, all that crumbles away and we actually reveal that we are quite altruistic at our core. And I think we're seeing that right now. So it's important to amplify those messages, to really bring to the fore some of those stories and use hope as a way to move forward. And I think we can potentially build and create something quite special out of this crisis.
Absolutely. Crisis is a melting point, and we can use it to create, to bring these opportunities together and bring the community together. And we see that happening already. So that's essentially all I wanted to catch up with you on, Damon. What can we expect from you on Thursday?
Just a lot of talking. I'm going to talk a lot, but I'm going to show some clips as well. So it won't be mundane, boring talk. I'll show some of my slides. I do a lot of keynotes around this topic. So just talking more about hope and amplifying some of the great stories that are out there, and why hope's a really powerful tool if it's grounded and based in reality. I call it muscular optimism or grounded hope. And I think that's what we need right now.
Okay, a final thought, Damon. What keeps you hopeful when things get dark sometimes? Not necessarily now, maybe now. What keeps you hopeful?
It's just it's just seeing the wonderful things that people are doing. We don't hear about them in the mainstream. The mainstream narrative is hell-bent on keeping the status quo, and we know that fear makes money and it gets more ratings, so that's a narrative that often gets pushed. But when you go outside of that, it's hard not to be hopeful and excited by the extraordinary things that are going on. It's just that people don't know about them. So I made a film called 2040, which is trying to bring those hopeful messages to the forefront. And we continue to tell those stories because they are everywhere. And I think the more people that can engage with them, then the more they'll be inspired to get involved and create their own solution themselves.
Perfect. Brilliant. It's hard not to be hopeful. Well said, Damon. See you on Thursday for the keynote.
See you Thursday, Parul. Thank you.
Thank you.